Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we would like to present our project called Color Changing Stickers for Testing HIV, Syphilis and Herpes on Sanitary Napkin. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Mr. Thanapon Intarawari.
And my name is วิรลักษณ์ ผลวัฒนา เจริญ Introduction. Due to the current number of people with sexually transmitted diseases, which is very high, therefore it is necessary to find a way to detect it in order to receive treatment in time and to prevent infecting others. Therefore, the group has invented and prepared this project. Objectives: 1. To check for sexually transmitted diseases. 2. To design and build stickers that change color to detect the presence of the diseases.
The theoretical background color changing sticker for testing HIV, syphilis, and herpes project being a theory of principle of color change on the test strips in the pregnancy test is immunochromatographic assay. We bring the theory principle of color change on the test strip in the pregnancy test is the appearance of individual color bands on colloidal gold-coated test strips caused by the gold nanoparticles have different particle sizes. In principle, this is a reaction between a specific antigen and antibody labeled with dye. Equipment: 1. Nitrocellulose membrane. 2. Silicone rubber sheet. 3. Medical tape. 4. Spectrophotometer. Substances: 1. Antibody. 2. Antigen. And 3. Colloidal gold. Antibody preparation: the blood of people who had recovered from HIV, syphilis, and herpes was extracted from serum or antibody for use in the experiment. Procedure: 1. Cut 3 sheets of nitrocellulose membrane with a wide 0.4 cm and length of cm. Put the colloidal gold on nitrocellulose sheets 190 nanometer inside and then coat with syphilis antibody. 3. Put the colloidal gold on the second sheet of nitrocellulose paper, size 500 nanometer, and then coat it with HV2 antibody. 4. Put the colloidal gold on the third sheet of nitrocellulose paper, 60 millimeter inside, and then coat it with HIV antibody. 5. Cut the silicone rubber sheet base 10 cm long, 1.2 cm wide, and 0.1 mm thick. 6. Put the sticker or sheet on the bed and then wire it with a medical tape.
Experimental approach. Experiment 1. Testing for color determination of gold particles. Independent variable. Gold particle sizes. Dependent variable. Changing the color of the test strips. Controlled variable. Disease antigens and disease antibodies. Steps: 1. Adopt 500 nanometers, 90 nanometers, and 60 nanometers gold-plated test strips. 2. Then coat the specific antibodies of herpes, syphilis, and HIV, respectively. 3. Drop the specific antigens of each disease on the test strips to cause a reaction, observe, and record the results. Experiment 2. Gold particle quantification experiment to show color clarity. Independent variable. Gold particle quantify. Dependent variable. Color of clarity. Controlled variable. Disease antigens and disease antibodies. Steps: 1. Coating various amounts of gold nanoparticles on the test strips and divided the experiment into 3 sets. Each test set consisted of 3 test strips, each plate coated with different gold particles. The doses used to test herpes were 6 mg, 10 mg, 14 mg. The doses used to test for syphilis were 6 mg, 10 mg, 14 mg, and the doses used to test HIV is 6 mg, 10 mg, 14 mg. 2. Code the specific antibodies for each disease on the test strip. 3. Drop the disease-specific antigen on the test strip to cause a reaction, observe and record the results. Experiment 3. Test for discoloration when coded with antibodies of the same disease. Independent variable. Gold particle sizes. Coating each test strip. Dependent variable. Changing the color of the test strips. Control variable. Disease antigens and disease antibodies. Step 1. Take a test strip coated with gold particles of 500 nanometers, 90 nanometers, and 60 nanometers. Come in 3 sheets, each divided into 3 sets of experiments. Each set contains 500 nanometers gold-plated test strip, 90 nanometer plate, and 60 nanometer plate. 2. Coated with HIV-specific antibodies, herpes and syphilis in trials 1, 2, and 3 respectively. 3. Being HIV-specific antigens, herpes and syphilis were dripped onto the test strips in trials 1, 2, and 3 respectively to cause a reaction, observe and record the results.
Experiment 4. Test for discoloration when coated with antibodies of heterogeneous disease, independent variable, disease antibodies, dependent variable, changing the color of test strips, control variable, disease antigens. Step 1. Taking a test strip coated with gold particle of 60 nanometer, 90 nanometer, and 5 nanometer. Come in 3 sheets, each divided into 3 sets of experiments. Each set contains one 500 nanometer gold plate test strip, one 90 nanometer plate, and one 60 nanometer plate. 2. In one set, 3 antibody HIV, syphilis, and herpes were coated on test strip coated with gold particle of 60 nanometer, 90 nanometer, and 500 nanometer, respectively. 3. Drop a dot of each disease-specific antigen to react with the specific antibody in all 3 trials. Observe and record the results.
Experiment 5. Absorption efficiency. Test of test strips.
Experiment 6. Testing on the effectiveness of sticker when the placed on sanitary napkin. This is reaction. Result. If the bud contains HIV antigen when tested, the color bar will change its color to purple. If the bud contains HIV2 antigen when the tested, color bar will change its color to yellow. If the bud contains syphilis antigen when tested, the color bar will change its color to blue. Discussion. STD test sticker is a tool for testing sexually transmitted diseases that is easy to use and convenient according to the lock and key theory. For example, when the HIV antigen binds to the HIV antibody, it will show purple. The antigen used the test from the person menstrual but mean the examiner was infected with HIV. If the sticker sheet shows multiple colors at once, such as yellow and blue, that means the examiner has syphilis and herpes infection. So the examiner should go to the hospital for proper transmit.
Conclusion. From the performance test, it was found that the sticker sticks well on the sanitary napkin and color change experiment on color bar used to show the effects of HIV, syphilis, and herpes can change color according to the type of disease. Therefore, it can be concluded that color-changing stickers for testing HIV, syphilis, and herpes on sanitary napkins project are efficient to use from the reproductive age onwards for women. They can help women get tested for sexually transmitted diseases easily and conveniently. More so, it can also be useful for sexually transmitted diseases screening in the future. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.